Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again. Hopefully, by now you would have heard my first seminar, speech, lecture, whatever you want to call it, on the history of the Freemasons. That's a topic, obviously, which is in the past. The past is the past. History is history at the end of the day. But what I want to go into now is basically we know the history. We want to know what Freemasons are about now, not how they come about. I want to actually tell you what exactly the whole plan or whatever you want to say is. Now, the major aim of the Freemasons, in plain simple terms, is to take over the world, um, run the world how they want it to run, and basically profit from that. There's a lot of things you might have heard in the media, such as New World Order. Um, you would have heard that from George Bush Sr. He did a speech on it. A lot of people have mentioned it, actually. A lot of political leaders try to get this idea doctrinated into society. You've got President Bill Clinton said that, Gordon Brown, etc., etc. And what the idea behind a New World Order basically is, a New World Order is to have a one world government who rules the world, not to have individual states like we have at the moment. But there's plans of that, there's ideas of that, which is basically being slowly infiltrated into society today. A grandmaster example of that would be, for example, the United Nations. Do you know what I mean? United Nations is a group of people that run a particular area. For example, Europe, the European Union, etc., etc. You've got basically what I believe their idea behind that is to get people used to the idea, so that whenever they do get this, and they will get it eventually, there's no stopping them. No matter all this knowledge I'm giving you, there's no stopping the Freemasons at the end of the day. This is just knowledge to pass on to you, so you don't get sucked into the plan. I guarantee you there's nobody who can stop this, because, to be honest with you, it can't be stopped. These are the most richest, richest, most powerful people in the world. Whatever they'd say, we can't stop it. But, hell, we have the knowledge, and we can use that, spread the knowledge, and prolong their plan. Use it to get us onto the right path. And if you're a Muslim, keep your deen strong. If you're a Christian, keep your faith strong, etc., etc. So, for example, the European Union's a classic example. Each 4 years, I think the term is, one government becomes the leader. For example, it'd be England, 4 years. In the UK, you'll have France 4 years later running it. Eventually, like I say, that is more or less seen as normal now. So don't be surprised if very soon that whenever they do get this New World Order, it's going to be the same principle, but instead of having it in Europe and Asia, etc., it's going to be one world government. Now, they've done this through subliminal messages as well. They've tried to get this, although they've been blatant about it in films, they also try to get this message across. A classic example would be the film Independence Day. A lot of people have seen that. It broke all box office records for basically within that film. The human race comes under attack by aliens. Now, you don't see in that film each individual country go in and making a decision. What you actually see is, this is just an example in that, but it's America who launch a major offensive against the aliens for all over the world to follow, basically. That kind of signifies a one world government. That one country is making the decision for the whole world. Now, obviously, in that, it's like, in the film, it's like, oh yeah, the heroes, this and that, yeah? But it's a sinister, hidden message, subliminally, just to get us used to the idea. There's a lot of other films, the list could go on and on. I don't want to go on and spend too much time in it, but it's just to give you an idea. Now, the New World Order, right, to get this, they do not give a damn what price has to be paid, whether it's money, whether it's human life, because a lot of these wars that we see now, they're all orchestrated. They're all planned. Nothing's worth fighting for within these wars, really. For example, the war in Iraq. that is, you know, did they find that the idea behind that was, oh look, Saddam's got chemical weapons, let's go take him out, yeah? How long did they have people in there? How many weapons did they find? None. They said he can press a button and, you know, he could blow us up from Iraq. They had people there, a team of people looking for chemical weapons, yeah? Not one was found. It's a big country, man, fair enough, but bloody hell. You're telling me you can't find a chemical weapon? You could find Saddam Hussein in a bloody hole, yeah? But you can't tell me that they can't find a big bloody nuclear warhead, because that is all bull. That is just, I mean, what they've done, they used September the 11th, yeah? That was all orchestrated attack, yeah? I don't care what people say, yeah? Nothing adds up in that. Bush said he heard it first in his school, then he's seen it on the TV. You know, something like that, you'd keep your story straight if you actually knew, if it was actually the truth and when you knew it happened. But he seems to change his story, change his bloody mind every week. So, you know, things didn't add up. The way that the buildings fell, the way that, you know, they were supposed to be reinforced. People within the buildings themselves had bombs, like an explosion from down below. They heard that first, and then they heard like 5-6 seconds later a bloody plane crash. Explain that. Did the plane drop some of its luggage down there at the bottom and it crashed? It was a bomb. Yeah? There's a thing I suggest you watch on the internet. It's called Jesse Ventura Conspiracy Theories. He's got a lot of things. These actually came on TV in America. I'm not sure if it came out within the UK, but it's basically going into conspiracies, doing a bit of research. I did my research from there, yeah, as well as amongst of other places, yeah. But basically, with the term September the 11th, that was they basically put forward the idea that there's a certain type of chemical that you mix with paint, yeah. If it's heated to an nth degree, to a particular, you know, temperature, it's very, very powerful. It can blow up things, yeah. Their idea was that at the bottom, wherever the explosion was at the World Trade Centers, yeah, that's what caused the collapse. They exploded that, yeah. That's what caused the collapse. It burns through metal, it burns through steel, it burns through anything. And obviously the World Trade Centers burn through that, and it caused the collapse, yeah. 9/11, there was a lot of people within the 9/11 report that the details were basically left out, you know, in the commission report, because there's people who said they had the explosion. They were interviewed and everything, yeah, but the stories weren't given in the commission report. Only what they want you to hear was given. Now the Freemasons obviously did that deliberately. Everything that government does now, 90% of it anyway, has an agenda behind it. Now an agenda basically means there's a reason why they're doing it. So the whole idea behind September the 11th and the conspiracy, blaming it on Arabs, Muslims especially, was to basically make the West hate the East. It's foretold in the Quran or Hadith or something, I'm not particularly sure, that there'll come a point, it's one of the signs of Qiyamah as well, the end of days, day of judgment, that basically the whole world will gang up on Muslims like a pack of wolves, something like that, and there'll be a big, you know, call out against the Muslims. There'll be, you know, the world will be against them basically. Now obviously September the 11th clearly done that, you know. How many people before then had a problem with Muslims? Nobody. September the 11th created that problem. Now there's an agenda behind everything. They done that so they could use that as an excuse to say, yeah, look, we got to invade Afghanistan because Osama bin Laden's there, etc. But what? They bloody find, like I say, bin Laden's in the bastard mountains. Pardon my French. Bin Laden's in the bloody mountains. You know, and the whole thing behind bin Laden, he wasn't even a terrorist. He is actually an undercover CIA agent. His name's Tim Osman. So it all links into that. It's a conspiracy.